So this is a demo just to show you that what information you would need or what information you should be prepared with at the time of your application process. So how much time it took us? It took us like 34 minutes. If you go slowly, also you should be done in an hour, right? The main purpose of this video on just to familiarize you with the process, just to show you that there is nothing intimidating out there. There is none of the information is there which you don't have already. It's just the matter of getting everything in the place. Hello everyone, hi. So in this video, consider this to be a continuation of my earlier video where I was trying to explain to you how to create an application for the Alberta Opportunity Stream. So Alberta Opportunity Stream is one of the non-express entry programs run by Alberta PNP or Aaip, where you can submit your application if you think you are eligible for the program. So similar to Alberta Opportunity Stream, there is one more stream called Rural Renewal Stream in Alberta, which is basically focused on certain rural communities or promoting economic development in those rural communities. And it has a similar process of application to the Alberta Opportunity Stream. Here also, you would have to assess your eligibility and go through all the eligibilities requirements. And if you think you are eligible for that particular that program, you can create an application on the Alberta Immigration portal. Few things that would be common from my last video, and obviously I'll not cover it here, is the first portion of how to create a alberta.ca account. So I will provide a link here. So you can see how did I create my basic alberta.ca account, and with the help of that, how did I create the application. So once that account setup is done, the next step is what I will cover in this particular video for the step-by-step application of the rural renewal stream. Okay. So once you have done that, if you have not yet done that, you can skip to that other video, create your alberta.ca account, and then come back to this video. So in the next section of this video, what you will see is I have already logged into my account, and now I'm trying to create a application for the rural renewal stream. Okay, so let's get into the application process. Okay, so if you see here, this is the first step of the process where you have logged into the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program portal. Once you are here, you would see two applications. Let me just quickly go back and show you. So as I covered in the last video, there are three sections here. First is the application of expression of interest. This is basically for all the entrepreneur-based stream. Then there is create new application, which would be either for your AOS or RRS. And then create request is basically a ticketing system. If you have any questions or you have to answer any, if you have to provide any documents, then you create these new requests. So what interests us for this particular video is the create new application thing. So we come to create new application, and in this video, we will cover the rural renewal stream. So you click on the rural renewal stream. It basically takes you through the declaration, and then you click on continue. Okay. Then you basically say that you have read all the information above. This has some basic housekeeping information here. Okay. Next is the application process. So again, if you see, like for example, in the AOS video, there are a lot of sections here which we need to fill up. Okay, and we will go step by step and fill it together. Let's see how much time it takes. So the first section is the Economic Mobility Pathway Program. Okay. So is this application for Economic Mobility Pathway Program? This was basically a program meant for somebody in a refugee status. So for most of us, this would not be applicable. You can just say no, which is the default. Then you provide your name, your surname, your gender, whether you have been known by any other name, your date of birth. Again, I will put all the dummy values here. Okay. So which province you intend to stay, say Alberta. Obviously, you are applying for rural renewal stream, so your intended province should be Alberta. Just provide your city of birth and country of birth. Again, this is just a dummy value. Just put your phone number and then your email ID. Next is your residential address. So you can put the residential address of the city that you of your current residential address. It's okay if you can select something else. Okay. So just put your residential address, same as residential address, save your application. At this point of time, at each stage, it will verify your forms, whether all the information that you have entered is correct or not. And then you click on next. It will take you to the next section of the form. So the first section was pretty easy, right? Next is, do you have a valid endorsement of candidate letter by the designated community? So obviously one of the required one of the required eligibility criteria of rural renewal scheme. So under rural renewal scheme, you need to have eligibility. You need to have a endorsement letter from the designated community. Okay, I'll just take you through the requirements of the endorsement letter. So if you look into this particular rural renewal scheme, then if you see here, so there is a section on the eligibility criteria on the rural renewal scheme, and then here you have to see is that the community must provide an endorsement of candidate letter to the selected community. So for doing this, you need to get in contact with the economic development office of the designated community, the rural community in which you want to set up your base. Once you have that endorsement letter, you can specify that in this application that yes, you have the endorsement letter of the community. So once you do that here, So once you do that here, you come here and say yes. So this is a very important step. If you say no here, you will not be able to proceed. Okay. So make sure that you say yes here. Name of the designated community. Click on this list and then you will see all the list of the communities. Now what I would say is instead of looking at this particular list, go to the list that is available in the in the list of designated communities in the rural renewal scheme portal. So here you will see all the community list. Okay, so make sure that you select your community correctly. So let me just say Athabasca County. Just double check whether Athabasca County is a designated community here. I don't see it here. Do you see guys here? Okay, let me just select something that I know is for sure here. Like city of Grand Prairie is here. I know Grand Prairie is here. City of Grand Prairie is here. Okay, so let's say city of Grand Prairie gave you the designated community thing. Name of the organization. Just give the EDO name. Given name that's obviously your name, your surname, your designation, your email ID, and the telephone number. Okay, so just put everything here and just say save. So this is a very important information. Obviously, again, this is just a dummy information I'm putting in, but you should put the correct information. So name of the organization. So please provide. So this information is related about the organization and the individual who issued you the endorsement letter. Okay. So just put the name of the person who issued you the endorsement letter. Okay. Next. Total work experience to date. Put your experience. Do you have a job offer? Do you have a job offer? And if you're already working. So if you're already working under your job or you have a job offer, say yes. Have you started working in your under this job? Yes or no, depending on what your situation is. Let's say you have not started working. Is your job and occupation related in Alberta? Say, let's say no. Okay, no license or certificate required. This is just a okay. Let's see the NOC. This is just the NOC that this is your wage or salary, average hour per week, company name, company address. Obviously, this is the location of employment, so this has to be a Canadian address, right? So just put your address, province. Obviously, you would be working in Alberta, so Alberta. And then the country is Canada, and then the employer contact name, right? So you put the contact name, manager. Basically, the just put the detail of the employer contact, the authorized person who can answer questions if AIP has any questions on behalf of the employer. This can typically be a HR person. Are you currently employed? Yes. Is your current employment same as your Alberta job offer? We said no here, right? In job offer, there is no. Have you started working under this job offer? No. So I think we should say no here. Okay. So what is my current job title? My current job title is still store manager. Say I started working from January of 2021 to date. Yeah, today's date. NOC, let's select the same NOC. Purchasing manager. Current wage or salary annualized. Say my current salary is 80,000. I work for 40 hours a day. This is location of employment. Okay, so this is the same as the place. So this is the place that where you will be working. Okay, so just put the company name, just put the address where you will be working. Obviously, this is just the so this is the actual location you would be working, right? Do not include the corporate address. So I'm just putting a dummy. I'm putting a dummy email address, but you should put the correct address, and then the employer contact. It could be. It should be either a direct supervisor or a human resource person. Okay. So this is just the employer information, and then this is just the HR supervisor. So maybe your supervisor name, right? And then his designation, his supervisor at whatever your supervisor name is, right? Work history. So if you have any work history, you add it, otherwise save it and you should be okay. So you just added your all the details, okay? Just click on details. So that is basically the information about your work experience. So it was pretty simple. Does the occupation require state certification? Let's say no, it doesn't need any kind of certification. Education. Have you completed at least a high school diploma equivalent in Canadian high school? Yes. You can put your years in primary school, say years in secondary school. Let's say 10 here, 2 here, university college 4, years in trade school other, something like that. So this is done. Just say save. Okay, we need to add some education history. So institute, so your college name, your city, in which country you did your education, say you did your education, name of education, purchase management. I'm just making things up, okay? From date, say you did your thing from 2018, not 2018, right? 0101, 2016, 2016 to 0101, 20. Let's see. Have you obtained a ECA? Say yes. From which organization? Say you got your ECA from WES. Since your education, if your education is outside Canada, you need to get an ECA. So you just provide your ECA and your date of assessment of ECA, which should not be more than 5 years old. So let's say you said 1st January 22, you got your ECA. Save your record and click on next. So after you have provided your education work history, you provide your education. Here you say which language are you want the communication in. Put your language, native language. Put your Self-Pip general. Say you took it pretty recently, and that's your score here. Put your, and then if you have any other language assessment, just put it here. So this section is basically uh, the your language assessment. So if you have language assessment, say for English or French, put it here. Put the score. So this score would be available on your CLB document. So just save it and let's go to the next one. One quick thing here, let's quickly check if there is any kind of eligibility requirement for language here. Okay, for the rural renewal scheme. I know there is some kind of a requirement here. Yeah, so if you see here, so these are the language requirements. So you need a minimum of 5, right? If your job is 0, 1, 2, 3, then you need a minimum of 5. So let's say you need a minimum of 5 across. Okay, aim for 5. So your score of 8 should be good. So whatever your score is, put the score here. Say you're married, is your spouse will accompany you? Yes, most of the case she will accompany you. Name of the spouse, gender of the spouse, date of birth of spouse. Do you have any children? Say yes. Add dependent children. So name of the child, say gender of the child, Relationship is child, save. Okay, so this is how you add the dependents. So that's the spouse and dependent information section. Pretty straightforward. Let's click on next. Do you spies have a relatives in Canada? If you have, say yes. If you don't, say no. Let's say yes. Then we have to add a relative. Name of the relative. Since you say that they are a relative, let's say they are in Alberta. Let's say there's a city. Let's say they have spent 20 years in Canada. And what else? First cousin. That's a favorite relative. Save. Right? So just save your relative information and click on next. Next information is settlement of funds. Do you meet the funds requirement under the low income cutoff threshold? So what is the settlement of funds requirement? Let's go through the requirements. See here. So the minimum settlement funds are based on the low income cutoffs. So LICO. So based on this, this is the amount of settlement of funds that's required. So you are a family of 3. Okay, so obviously the minimum is 13,000 and the maximum is 17,000 approximately. Let's make sure that we have a few $1,000 extra. Okay, so how many family members will accompany you? That's include your spouse and their dependent children, right? So how many family members? So 2 family members and along with you, and you would say yes, I qualify under LICO. Okay. Okay. One more thing here, that this is required only if you are not residing in Canada or you are currently in Canada but not working. So if you are in Canada and working, then you don't need to meet the this LICO requirement. So for example, so if you are already staying and working in Canada, you can always say not applicable and move ahead. Okay. Just for the sake of entering this form, I'm just entering the Canadian dollars as 18,000 for a family member of for a family of size of 3. Okay. Again, not applicable is also an option here. Okay. Next. Uh, list all address where you have lived since 18th birthday. Let's see. 18th birthday is my 88, right? 01/01/1988 to say I'm not yet in Canada. Right? I'm just applying from outside Canada. I just have a job offer in Canada. So I'm just doing that. I'm just selecting the first in the list. Okay. So there is nothing like I don't want to. So you just put your address history. This is very self-explanatory. Right? Next is Ircc application history. Are you currently residing in Alberta? No, I'm not residing in Alberta. Are you currently in Federal Express Entry Pool? No. For rural renewal stream, you don't need to be in the Federal Express Entry Pool. Okay, because this is just an application. It's a standalone application. Do you spouse have an active PR application? No. We are applying for PNP for the first time, so no. Okay. This question is basically directed towards this section, whether you have any past applications which was refused or withdrawn. Okay, next. How did you learn? This is just a survey question, so just put any answer and move ahead. Just give your alternate contact name and alternate contact's email address and the phone number of the alternate contact and save. Again, I cannot stress enough, this is just a dummy information. Okay, so just put the dummy information. Authorization candidate declaration, you just read through candidate declaration and just check, and you say yes, say next. Authorization of personal information. This is basically you're handing over your personal information. Click the checkbox, save, and click next. It's very important to save at each stage. Okay, save. Let's see what's the representative. So if you have not used a representative, you should be good. Just click next. Has anyone provided you assisted in preparing the application? If you're preparing it yourself, just say no, save, and say next. So if you are applying it on your own, you can do it. What's the time? Let's check the time, how much time it took us. It's like 25 minutes into the video, and we are almost towards the last few stages of the document, right? So let's go. Okay, next comes the document checklist. So then there is a lot of documents that you need to provide. The ones which says required is yes, so you have to provide that document, right? So at this particular stage, what I will do is I'll just upload a dummy document here. Okay, but what is important is you just provide the all the required documents. So whatever says yes, you just provide a document. So let me just say one document. Okay, I'm just taking a sample document and I'll say upload. So you just take a document, choose the file and upload. Okay, very important to click this button. This is a very, so if you just select the file, it doesn't get uploaded. So you have to select it and upload. So endorsement of candidate letter, this was the first document that you said you have. Important. Valid passport, obviously very self-explanatory what you need. So just upload that. Language assessment test is the next required document. Let's let it save and then we will upload that. Okay, choose file. Let's do this language assessment. Click on upload. That is also done. Let it load. Very important. Let's wait. Very important. You click on that upload button at every stage. Otherwise, your things could be lost. Next, your education related documents. Again, just select your education document and click upload. It will take time depending on your connection. Employment reference. I'm just again uploading a very dummy document. Okay, don't upload the same document, obviously. Prepare your documentation, keep your documentation in one place. One very good suggestion we got is that if you have something access to a Google Drive or something, create a folder there and then keep on saving all your documents over there. What will happen is over a period of time, see all documents, you will not get all the documents together in one place, right? But some documents you will get on email, some documents you will have to scan and upload, and there are different type of documents from different sources. So create a folder which is very easily accessible, right? It could be a Google Drive folder, it could be something in USB which you can carry around, and as you get the documents, you just keep saving it there. Okay, like I did it on my MacBook. So I had a folder on my MacBook which was basically containing all the documents. So till today, I have all the documents that I have used from my PR applications in that folder. Very important to keep it organized. Okay, let's go to the next thing. So say for example, I've selected this, I've uploaded. Just make sure that your upload button is gone now, right? It should be replaced by a delete button. Okay, again, something upload, depending on your speed, again, depending on your speed of your internet connection and everything, this can take some time. Okay, let's see. And then proof for settlement of funds. Obviously, if you need any kind of settlement of funds, you just upload your settlement of funds document. I will prepare one more video about the documentation part, right? What each of these documentation means. This video is basically about the application process. So how do you upload how do you complete the application in the Aaip portal? Okay. So again, if I go through the documentation here, it will take a lot of time. I'll quickly touch base on the documentation checklist after we have done the uploading, after we have done the demo part. So so this completes the demo on the documentation upload. Okay. So once you have completed all the documentations upload, save the form, it will tell you if there are any issues with the form, right? If you have missed any kind of documentation upload or something, it will tell you. If it is not, then you basically just go next. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, I will take you through the document checklist. So in this page, once you come to this page, right, you will have a document checklist link. So this is the document checklist link that is available on the portal. So here you will see what each documents mean. What do they mean by passport? What do they mean by work permit? What do they mean by language assessment document? So this has very clear instructions on how to prepare your documentation. Okay. Don't get intimidated. Go through each section. There is only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 8 documentations that is required. Okay, since you have not used representatives, so you don't need that. So only 8 documentations required, out of which most of the documents would be available to you very easily. Like for example, endorsement letter. If you already have an endorsement letter, you just need to scan it. Passports, you just need to scan it. Language assessment, in most cases, you will get a soft copy. You just need to upload that. Education, this should be available to you. All your education documents, your ECAs. If you have done your ECA, then obviously upload your ECA. Let's, for example, we told that we have an ECA, right? The education for this particular example was outside Canada. So let's put the ECA, even though it's not mandatory. Since we have told that we have ECA, let's upload the ECA. Okay. So that's the part here. So yeah, so it says very clearly what. So this particular document checklist says very clearly what is what. So go through this document checklist very carefully. Okay, and once you have gone through this particular document checklist, just make sure that while you're uploading everything, you have uploaded everything, right? All the mandatory fields are uploaded, and the fact that you have saved everything, right? You have also clicked the upload button, and this has now changed to a delete button. Okay, click on next. This is the final stage. These are just the last stages of the application process. Let's go through the last steps. I think there is only 2 steps left. Here you basically review all the application details that you have still have filled on. So this is just a summary of all the information that you have filled here. Make sure, double check your work. If you have uploaded, if you have done everything correctly, then there is the last step, right? So if you see here the progress bar here, last is submission and then payment of the fees. Obviously for this particular demo, I cannot pay the fees for this particular demo, but I don't think the major you would get stuck at that stage if you have done the hard part. So this is the hard part, right? Filling up all the documents. So here, after you click submit button, you have 24 hours to pay the application fee. So you can just click the submit button and then pay the $500 fee using a credit or debit card. Okay. So if you pay your fee, your application is accepted. If you do not pay your fee, your application is cancelled. As simple as that. Okay. So this is the last step, and after you click submit, you will get the information on how to submit the fees. Okay. So how much time it took us? Let's see how much time it took us. It took us like 34 minutes to fill up all the information. If you go slowly, also you should be done in an hour, right? So this is a demo just to show you that what information you would need or what information you should be prepared with at the time of your application process. So if you, we went through all the fields, right? We entered work information, education history, spouse information, children information, all the documentations. We uploaded everything. So you have now seen what documentations are needed for this application. Okay. So now I hope you are more clear on what needs to be done, right? That is the main purpose of this video, on just to familiarize you with the process, right? Obviously you will not copy paste information from this particular video because these are all the dummy information, but this information is helpful to just familiarize you with the process, just to show you that there is nothing intimidating out there. There is none of the information is there which you don't have already. It's just the matter of getting everything in the place. Okay. I'll prepare one more video on the documentation part, because that will take some time and explanation. So that video would be focused only on the documentation checklist and what those documentation checklist says. So keep a watch for that particular video. And if you have any questions for this particular video, reach out to me on the comments and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.